What's going on, everyone? 2025 is now upon us, and today we're going to be taking a look at 5 fights that we have to see in 2025. Alright, so first up, this one I wanted to leave till the end, but I mean, you guys probably all guessed that this is going to be on this list anyway, so I might as well just get it out of the way. If I had 3 wishes from a genie, it'd probably be to solve world hunger, probably solve world peace, and then for Tom Aspinall to fight Jon Jones. Yeah, that's number one. And this fight, I mean, it's a crime that it hasn't happened yet. We just went through a whole other year of Jon Jones being the champion, and he didn't fight the number 1 contender, the dude holding the interim title. And yeah, that's about as ridiculous as it gets, but it has to stop this year. We have to face this head on now. We have to make a decision. It's either Jones strips himself of the title, walks away from the sport, and avoids Tom Aspinall, or these two actually just get in there. I mean, I have a little more hope that it'll happen now because Dana has officially said that he's trying to put this fight together, and usually when Dana says that he's going to make a fight, it usually does happen. But you never know with Jon Jones. I mean, this guy crashed a whole card just because he didn't want to fight Chael Sonnen on short notice, so if he's not taking on Sonnen on short notice, I don't know if he'll fight Tom at all. We'll see though. I think everybody wants to see that fight happen. It's probably the most anticipated fight of the year if it gets booked, and they definitely should book it because it could be one of the biggest fights in UFC history. Number 2, Ian Machado Gary versus Colby Covington. Listen, this fight I think makes sense for a ton of reasons. You have 2 guys who are somewhat stars in the division. Colby, you know he's going to run his mouth at that press conference and build that fight up. And honestly, this is probably the only time you're going to get to make this fight. I mean, Colby's coming off of a loss, Ian Gary's coming off of a loss, and Gary, I mean, he probably doesn't want to fight Covington at this point because it's not really going to do anything for him in his career and getting towards the title. But if the money's right, it'll happen. And Colby, this is absolutely the fight he should be chasing. Ian Gary's still a big name in this division. I think he's 1 win away from potentially fighting for a title. So if you go out there and you beat a guy like Ian Gary, number 1, you're going to gain a lot of the fans back because they all seem to hate Ian. And number 2, you're going to get way closer to the title. In my opinion, this one's a no-brainer, but it seems like Colby was ducking this one before, and in negotiations, it didn't seem like Colby wanted the fight. So maybe after this fight with Buckley, now he's more open to this possibility, and this is pretty much a winner go home type of fight for Colby. You win this one, you're back in the mix. If you don't, you should probably retire. Number 3, Khamzat Chimaev versus Dricus du Plessis. I mean, it could be Sean Strickland, but I don't think Sean's going to win that fight. I think DDP will come out on top, which means Khamzat will be fighting Dricus du Plessis for the middleweight title. This is one a lot of fans have been waiting for a while now. Ever since Khamzat entered the UFC, he's been a specimen, a freak of nature, and fans have always been intrigued with this guy. He's finally in the position now to where it makes sense for him to fight for a title after that crazy win over Robert Whittaker, so it's time that it happens. You got to make this fight. I don't care when it happens, May, June, July, whenever. It depends how long it takes DDP to heal up from this Sean fight if he wins. Either way, it has to happen this year. A lot of people are waiting for this one. A lot of people believe that Khamzat will become the middleweight champion. I do think it's a very good possibility, but I think if someone is going to give him problems in this division, it's going to be Dricus du Plessis. So I think it's a really compelling fight. I don't think Khamzat walks in there and steamrolls DDP like he did to Rob. So number 1, it's very interesting because it's 2 styles that I think could clash for an exciting matchup, and it's Khamzat Chimaev. Everybody wants to see this guy fight for a title. Number 4, Peter Yan versus Sean O'Malley 2. A lot of people have been wanting this rematch for a while because it was so controversial the first time around. A lot of people believe Peter Yan was robbed in that fight, and I've seen that fight a bunch of times, and I'm still torn on it. I could see why it went to Sean, but I can also see why people wanted to give it to Piotr. Either way, no perfect time than to make these 2 fight each other right now. You have Umar and Merab, they're going to be fighting for the title, and then you can have these 2 fight each other maybe in April, May, whenever Sean O'Malley seems to be back from his injury, and then the winner of that fight can go on and fight either Umar or Merab, whoever has the title. I think this is easily a great fight to put together for a number 1 contenders fight. I think it's a fight that makes sense for both guys. On Jan's side, he's going to want to get back a loss in his career that he feels like he shouldn't have, and then on O'Malley's side, he wants to silence the doubters, wants to silence the haters, and maybe he can go out there and potentially finish Jan. I think it's a bigger fight for him than a Cejudo or a Sandhagen at this point. I think it's going to offer him more in terms of getting back to the belt, and overall, it's a really fun and interesting fight. I mean, their first fight was amazing. It doesn't matter how you score it. It was enjoyable in every way, so I think if they get put together again, I think the same thing will happen. Number 5. Honestly, I was struggling a bit for this one, but it's going to be Kamaru Usman versus literally anyone, honestly. At this point, Usman sat out for so long. He's holding up the welterweight division, and I just want to see the dude fight somebody. I want to see where he's at in his career, because the last time we saw him was against Khamzat Chimaev when he took the fight on short notice up a weight class. We haven't seen a proper welterweight Usman in over 18 months at this point, and this is one of the guys that was one of the most active dudes on the roster, and we just haven't seen him. Is he in? Is he out? Is he still in the mix? Because apparently he's turned down a lot of fights. He turned down the Shavkat fight. It doesn't seem like the JDM fight is materializing. So what's happening here? Is Usman gonna fight? Is he just want to do his podcast with Cejudo and never fight again? Like, just, we need to figure it out, make a decision. Either he gets in there and faces some of these top contenders, and yeah, he has to fight down because he lost his title and then he lost to Khamzat. The dude doesn't have any wins recently, so let's get him to fight a proper up-and-coming contender like a Jack Della Maddalena. I think that fight makes a lot of sense, and then the winner of that can have title aspirations. But this, just sitting at the top, holding your ranking, not doing anything, I just think it doesn't make sense, and the UFC has to really cut down on that in 2025, because Usman's not the only guy. There's a ton of dudes that fight like once a year, maybe once a year, and just kind of hold their ranking at the top of the division. It's stupid, it's dumb, it limits the sport, so we have to get rid of that, and we have to get Usman a fight in 2025. There you guys have it though. Those are my thoughts on 5 fights I need to see happen in 2025. Let me know what you guys think though. Do you agree with me? Also drop some of the fights you want to see down below in the comments. Let's have a little bit of a discussion. Thank you all for watching this video. Check out more just like this one. I'll see you all in the next one.